In this video, we will be discussing the Manciple. Now, a Manciple was essentially a servant who worked for a group of lawyers, and one of his jobs would be to go to the market to purchase their food every day. The Manciple came from the inner temple. All caterers might follow his example in buying victuals. He was never rash whether he bought on credit or paid cash. He used to watch the market most precisely and got in first, and so he did quite nicely. Now, isn't it a marvel of God's grace that an illiterate fellow can outpace the wisdom of a heap of learned men? So here Chaucer is implying a few things without right out stating them. So he does tell us that one of the Manciple's jobs is to go to the market and purchase the food for the lawyers every day. And it says he does a great job at that, right? He's always the first one at the market. But then right after that, Chaucer has those lines, "Now isn't it a marvel of God's grace that an illiterate fellow can outpace the wisdom of a heap of learned men?" So I think that Chaucer is implying here that while the Manciple is not well educated, right? He's not book smart because he tells us he's illiterate. He is street smart, because it says that he is outsmarting essentially all of these lawyers. And so I think the implication here is that he is pocketing some of that money for himself that they give him to go to market with. And so he'll get the money from them, go to market, purchase the food, and then put a little bit of that money that's left over in his pocket for himself. And so he's outwitting these lawyers who are supposed to be these very well-educated men that he works for, and they are none the wiser. Okay, they have no idea that he is doing this to them. His masters, he had more than 30 then, all versed in the abstrusest legal knowledge, could have produced a dozen from their college, fit to be stewards in land and rents and game, to any peer in England you could name, and show him how to live on what he had, debt-free, unless of course the peer were mad, or be as frugal as he might desire, and make them fit to help about the shire, in any legal case there was to try, and yet this Manciple could wipe their eye. There's not really any other information here that I want you to know about the Manciple. Obviously, Chaucer is not going to hold him in high esteem because, he is stealing from his employer. But, if the employer is not catching on, then there you are. So he is a neutral character to Chaucer, and we really don't know much else about this character of the Manciple. Mainly, I think it's Chaucer's way of saying, look, there's corruption at every level of the social class system.